Another clause in the CBA is if there is a verbal agreement between both sides, between a player and a team, that needs to be in writing ASAP. I want to start in Dallas with Micah Parsons. Obviously, this is the number one story in the football world at the current moment. Here's what I believe with this whole situation. By the way, I want you guys to know, this is a Cowboys helmet in the background. I am a Cowboys fan. I have covered the Cowboys for about 4 years now, and I've been talking to some people about this trade request. And from what I'm hearing, the way things are at the current moment, this trade request is real. But what I keep hearing is the way things are right now, not things can't get better with this situation. It's the way things are right now, he wants to be out of Dallas. Now, if they start negotiating and they start putting money in front of him and they start actually trying to work towards a contract, then I think that's a little different. I don't think he wants to leave Dallas, but I think with the way things are right now, I do believe he wants out, but obviously I do think that things can change. I also heard that, this is from Bobby Bell on 105.3 The Fan, that Micah Parsons did want to negotiate a contract in 2024. David Mulugeta saw the Cowboys representatives at the combine and let them know, hey, we're open for business. You know, just letting you guys know that we are open for business. And the Cowboys, their response was, hey, you know, we have other contracts that we got to get done. We got to get Dak's contract done. We got to get CD's contract done. And David Mulugeta's response was just like, okay, do what you got to do. Just letting you know that if you guys want to talk, we can talk. So that is from the agent side of things. From the Cowboys side of things, they're saying that Micah Parsons didn't want to negotiate a contract last year, that he was okay waiting for, you know, the season to play out and for him to put another really good season together for them to negotiate. So that's why this is interesting. It's two contradicting stories from both sides. I don't know who to believe. I'm actually willing to believe Micah Parsons and his side on this, just because we have seen the Cowboys and how they've negotiated contracts in the past. I'm actually willing to take Micah Parsons' side on this, even though I do think that Micah Parsons has not done a great job during this negotiation period of actually, you know, using the leverage that he has to his advantage. So that's where I come from, where I say, I think both sides do have a little bit of fault here, but I'm more so blaming the Cowboys. But here's the most interesting thing about this whole situation. If Micah Parsons is as fed up with the Cowboys as his side is making it seem, he should file a grievance on the Cowboys at the current moment. And the reason why is because a team cannot negotiate with a player without their agent being involved. Both sides have told the public that this has happened. The Cowboys said, yes, this actually happened, that we negotiated with Micah Parsons without his agent present. Micah Parsons said, yes, they negotiated with me without my agent being present. That is a violation of the CBA. Micah Parsons could file a grievance on the Cowboys if he is that disgruntled with the team. Not only that, another clause in the CBA is if there is a verbal agreement between both sides, between a player and a team, that needs to be in writing ASAP. That's got to get in writing immediately. So that's why this is so interesting to me, because I do believe Micah Parsons is fed up with the way things currently are. But I do also think that the Cowboys can make amends for this and can get to a point where Micah Parsons is happy being on the team, because I do think he likes being a Dallas Cowboy. It's the team he grew up loving. I do think that he likes the things that the Dallas Cowboys can provide to him off the field and all the opportunities he's been given. So I do think he wants to play for the team, but I also do feel like he wants to be appreciated, and he deserves to be appreciated. I think you can make a case for this guy being the best defensive player in football, in my personal opinion. When you see how much he elevates the defense when he's not on the field compared to when he's on the field. And the fact that there are lists out there of all time where it's just Micah Parsons and Lawrence Taylor, Micah Parsons, Reggie White, or just Micah Parsons on that list. Micah Parsons is an outstanding football player. And this is one thing that I absolutely can't stand. For years now, other fan bases outside of the Cowboys and the national media, there's plenty of people in the national media who talk about how overrated Micah Parsons is, and he's not one of the best pass rushers in the league, and he's not one of the best defensive players in the league. But so if you think that, if you're a fan base that thinks Micah Parsons is overrated, why are you telling your front office to trade the farm to go get this guy? If you're one of the people in the national media for years that tried to tell people that Micah Parsons wasn't as good as people thought he was, why are you sitting there yelling at the Cowboys and yelling at Jerry Jones to get this contract done? If you believe Micah Parsons is one of the best defensive players in football, if you're an opposing fan base, you shouldn't be calling him overrated. And if you're in the national media and you don't think he's one of the best players on the defensive side of the ball, you shouldn't be upset that Jerry Jones is hesitant to pay him, even though I don't think he's hesitant to pay him. I think he's willing to pay him. I think that this is just all an act. This is all just part of the game that the Jones family are playing to get as many headlines as they could possibly get and to get in the First Take headlines and all the FS1 Colin Cowherd headlines, because they are generating revenue for their football team. The brand exposure that they're getting from people talking about them and leading all of their shows off with the Cowboys, all of that stuff is helping the Dallas Cowboys brand, which is why I think Jerry Jones is continuing to play this game with Micah Parsons and why he keeps this team in the headlines, because this is just all a part of the game. Micah Parsons will be signed. I think right now it's August 7th. They're about, 28 days from their first game? Give it about, I think, 10 to 14 days, and I think there will be a deal done with Micah Parsons and the Cowboys. I don't think that this is necessarily a hard deal to get done. All they got to do is say, hey, TJ Watt got paid this. I want this. This is the figure amount. We want 4 years. And then the terms and all the guarantees, that stuff is stuff that will have to be negotiated out. But I don't think that this is a hard deal to get done. I just feel like one side is stalling because I do think that Micah Parsons' side wants to get this done. I think that the Cowboys are really stalling in this situation. And that's where ultimately I come to the conclusion that I do think this will get done. And I think Jerry Jones feels like this deal is closer to getting done than Micah Parsons. I just think that this is all part of the game that he's playing. So